The universe is incredibly vast, containing millions and billions of galaxies, countless huge stars, and millions of planets that could potentially support life like Earth. Yet, despite this immense scale, we have only found life on our own planet so far. This raises a big question. Why haven't we discovered life anywhere else? Humans have only been around for about 200,000 years, and in that short span, we've managed to travel to other planets. This suggests that there should be many other planets where life started much earlier than on Earth, leading to civilizations far more advanced than ours. So why haven't we found any signs of these advanced alien civilizations? One theory that attempts to answer this question is called the Great Filter. Let's explore what this theory is all about in today's story. The story begins with a monologue. Earth was once just another planet in the vast universe, but it turned out to be different. Life began to flourish here, starting from simple forms and evolving into complex creatures. Among these, humans emerged, far superior in intelligence and cleverness. They built enormous spaceships and were on the brink of reaching new heights in their capabilities. However, just as they were about to ascend to the next level, everything started to change. The environment began to shift dramatically, bringing new challenges. Countries turned against each other, waging wars that killed millions. Amidst this chaos, a critical mission was set in motion. A spaceship to Mars was being launched. Its purpose was to send scientists to the Red Planet to make it suitable for human life, offering hope for a new beginning. So now we introduce our spaceship's crew. The captain is Alexa, a seasoned and determined leader. Alongside her are pilot Casey, engineer Ray, and two scientists, Catherine and Jerry. They are supported by their AI, Tina. As the crew prepared for launch, troubling news started coming in over the radio. More nuclear explosions were happening all over the world. It was sudden and devastating. Captain Alexa, sensing the urgency, ordered an immediate launch. Once they reached Earth's orbit, Alexa tried to contact NASA base to understand what was happening on Earth. To their shock, there was no response from NASA. They began tracing signals coming from Earth and found news reports describing massive nuclear explosions everywhere. It became clear that people were not safe even in deep bunkers. The grim realization dawned on them. Everyone on Earth might be dead, and they, the 5 astronauts, could be the last remaining humans alive. Alexa, overwhelmed with emotion, began to cry and turned to her team for advice. She asked them if they should stay in Earth's orbit and wait for any sign of life, or if they should start their journey to Mars immediately, a journey that would take them 280 days. On Mars, they could build a new human settlement and ensure the survival of the human species. As the team debated, scientist Jerry shared a surprising and unsettling theory. He explained that he believed everything happening to them might be related to a concept known as the Great Filter. The Great Filter is a real-life theory proposed by Robin Hanson. It suggests that while the universe is 13.8 billion years old and contains trillions of galaxies and millions of Earth-like planets, life as complex as ours is extremely rare. According to this theory, there are stages in the evolution of life that are incredibly hard to pass, acting as filters. Many civilizations might have existed, but failed to get past one of these critical stages. Jerry pointed out that although complex life on Earth only started evolving around 200,000 years ago, humans have already invented advanced spaceships and reached out to other planets. It's not an exaggeration to say that humans control the entire planet Earth. But why don't we see any other civilizations like ours anywhere else? If we can achieve so much in just 200,000 years, surely there must be many Earth-like planets where life began much earlier and has since advanced far beyond our capabilities. These civilizations should control not only their own planets, but perhaps even entire galaxies. Yet, we see no evidence of their existence. No signals, no artifacts, nothing. In 1966, Robin Hanson proposed a theory called the Great Filter, which offers a solution to this mystery and also addresses the Fermi Paradox. According to Hanson, there is a filter in our universe that prevents civilizations from encountering one another. This filter ensures that different civilizations, especially those at different stages of development, do not come into contact. But who or what creates this filter? There could be various answers. It might be a highly advanced alien civilization far beyond the level of humans and other life forms. Alternatively, it could be multidimensional beings who control the interactions between civilizations. Alexa realized that there was no time to dwell on these profound questions. With all humans on Earth likely killed, their priority had to be the survival of the human race. She rallied her crew and together they set off for Mars, determined to build a new future. As the days slowly passed, the crew members were deeply troubled by the catastrophic events that had unfolded on Earth. With nothing else to do, their thoughts constantly drifted to the chain of events that had led to the destruction of their home. They made repeated attempts to contact Earth, clinging to the hope that a miracle might occur and they would hear the voice of someone still alive. But each attempt ended in silence. The lack of response weighed heavily on their spirits, plunging the crew into deeper despair. One day, overwhelmed by anger and frustration, Alexa made a drastic decision. She ordered the AI Tina to cease all attempts to contact Earth from that point onward. Time moved forward as the countdown to reach Mars continued ticking down. The crew members kept themselves busy with various activities, trying to maintain a sense of normalcy. They pretended to be happy, hoping that their forced cheerfulness would make everything feel fine. However, as time passed, the weight of their mission began to press heavily on their minds. They carried the burden of humanity's survival, knowing that if they failed, the entire human race might vanish from the universe. This thought filled them with profound sadness. Simultaneously, the crew began to notice strange occurrences on the ship. They occasionally received odd signals on the radio and heard strange sounds emanating from different parts of the ship. At first, they dismissed these incidents, thinking that such things were impossible in the vast emptiness of space. Despite their initial dismissal, a lingering sense of unease grew among them. But Jerry, one of the crew members, found all these strange occurrences deeply unsettling. He began to feel as if someone or something was watching them. One day, he decided to gather the crew and share his suspicions. He reminded them of the great filter theory he had discussed before the mission began, and he believed it was more relevant now than ever. Jerry explained that he had been collecting and analyzing data for the past several months. His findings were alarming. The sequence of events leading to the nuclear war on Earth had only begun 8 to 10 months ago. Before that period, no countries were attacking each other. Instead, they were on a path of development, focusing on scientific progress. Over the past few years, humanity had made incredible advancements in space technology. Yet, just as they were on the verge of starting to travel to other planets, everything suddenly changed in those last crucial months. Jerry continued, explaining that the nuclear explosions started almost as soon as they left Earth. This suggested that someone deliberately wanted all humans to be killed except for the 5 of them, who were sent to Mars to try to keep the human species alive. Jerry believed that this confirmed his great filter theory. He argued that someone or something orchestrated the events on Earth. These entities could be multidimensional beings who do not want humans to progress beyond a certain level. For these beings, that level might involve humans staying confined to their home planet. Now that humanity was on the verge of leaving Earth for another planet, everything had fallen apart. The crew was taken aback by Jerry's assertions. They urged him to calm down, suggesting that isolation and stress might be affecting his judgment. However, Jerry was adamant. He had seen numerous pieces of evidence supporting his theory. He insisted that he wasn't the only one on the ship who felt like they were being watched. To underscore his point, Jerry mentioned the strange sounds they had been hearing from the radio. He believed that these occurrences were signs that someone else was on the ship, monitoring them. As Jerry continued to voice his theories, alarms suddenly blared throughout the ship, signaling an imminent threat. A massive solar flare was heading straight for them. The entire crew sprang into action, scrambling to prepare the ship and shield it from the impending disaster. However, Jerry remained adamant, insisting that there was no need for them to take action. He believed that whoever or whatever was watching over them would intervene to save them. After all, if their demise was intended, they wouldn't have been spared from the destruction of Earth in the first place. As the solar flare drew nearer, the ship began to sustain damage, despite the crew's efforts to protect it. Jerry's convictions only grew stronger as the situation escalated. He argued that their survival thus far was evidence supporting his theories. If the Great Filter truly existed, it would seek to prevent them from reaching Mars and ensuring the continuation of humanity. After successfully navigating through the solar flare, the crew worked together to repair the ship and ensure its safety. However, Jerry's behavior took a sudden and alarming turn. He insisted on opening the airlock and venturing into space, convinced that someone or something would save him. Despite their attempts to intervene, Jerry proceeded with his plan and launched himself into the void. The sudden jolt caused by Jerry's actions temporarily disrupted the ship's systems, but they managed to regain control. As time passed, the crew tried to come to terms with Jerry's death, but they didn't speak much about it. Some members couldn't shake the feeling that Jerry might have been onto something, that perhaps there was indeed a powerful alien civilization ocean watching over them. Catherine, however, urged them not to dwell on such thoughts. She believed that Jerry's actions were driven by his fear of loneliness rather than any actual threat from aliens. She reminded them that Jerry's body might still be floating in space, serving as a stark reminder of the dangers they faced. With only 67 days left until their arrival on Mars, the crew focused on their mission. They remained determined to establish a settlement on the Red Planet, honoring Jerry's memory by carrying out their duty to ensure the survival of humanity. Finally, after a journey of 280 days, the day of landing arrived. With a mix of excitement and apprehension, the crew watched as their ship descended towards the surface of Mars. To their relief, the landing was smooth, and their vessel settled safely onto the Martian terrain. Undeterred, they began to remove the protective shield from their ship. They were greeted by the harsh, cold environment of Mars. Alexa gathered the crew and reminded them of Jerry's belief in the Great Filter. She emphasized that their successful arrival on Mars meant that they had overcome this supposed barrier. In her eyes, the entire planet now belonged to them. They had the technology and knowledge to gradually transform the Martian atmosphere, turning it into a habitable environment for humanity. As the scene zoomed out, a surprising revelation unfolded. It became clear that someone had indeed been keeping a close watch not only on the crew, but on the entire Earth. And the twist grew even more astonishing when a figure stirred from unconsciousness. It was Jerry himself. In a surreal moment of realization, Jerry found himself surrounded by screens displaying the events unfolding on Mars. He watched as his companions landed safely and began preparations to settle on the Red Planet. It dawned on him that every theory he had put forward had come true. With a sense of awe and wonder, Jerry understood that they were being observed by an advanced alien civilization. These beings had been aware of life on Earth from the very beginning, yet they had chosen not to interfere. With this revelation, the motives of the advanced alien civilization became clear. They had allowed humanity to flourish on Earth, but grew concerned when humans began venturing beyond their home planet. Seeing the destruction wrought by humanity on Earth's resources, they feared that humans would repeat the same mistakes elsewhere in the universe. In a bid to prevent further devastation, they initiated a chain of events that culminated in the destruction of Earth. However, they spared the 5 crew members, recognizing their potential to overcome the Great Filter and make a fresh start on Mars. Now, as the crew embarked on their new journey, the alien watchers hoped that humanity would learn from their past mistakes. They left them with a chance to build a sustainable future on Mars, free from the environmental destruction that had plagued Earth. With this shocking revelation, the story concludes, leaving the crew members to face the challenges and opportunities of their new life on Mars. Thanks for tuning in, guys.